Hey guys, how's it going? This is Jacqueline, the unimportant homemaker, and today let's talk about womanhood. When I set my mind to study to show myself approved unto God, I had to laser focus on learning. So that meant that I needed to stop talking so that I could hear. I stopped being casual about hearing and became strategic. I pursued every privileged opportunity to learn because I understand that those who want to be wise must become fools. And believe me when I say I leaned hard upon my own understanding. But when I started focusing on hearing, I simultaneously began to stop talking. It also meant I had taken on a teachable spirit and a willingness to learn. Now, that doesn't mean I was willing to accept every wind of doctrine just because someone wrote a bestseller on it or talked about it on a talk show or podcast or has amassed a large following. I was very careful about who I let talk to me. Being quick to hear doesn't mean being open to everything. Also, being a listener means you are no longer the one talking. Just because there is a comment box, that does not mean that you need to add your opinion, your disagreement, or your affirmative words to the conversation. Not every conversation requires your voice. Not every issue demands a reaction. We sometimes feel that we must speak. I spent many years not talking on the internet. I never weighed in. I never typed an angry retort. I was in silence. It just never occurred to me to always say my piece. So imagine my surprise when I started this channel and everyone was talking all the time. I became completely overwhelmed. But I've already talked about this, so I'm going to move on. Titus 2 was the guide for how I was to live out this quick-to-hear lifestyle. It said for the older women to teach the younger women. So that means the younger woman should be learning. Too often we like to add our preferences, our requests, our explanations to everything. Just ask any husband. He can give us instructions, but then we come back with a list of reasons why we should or why we shouldn't do this or that. We offer our opinions on what we would do in the situation or how we would state the request and on and on. We rarely hear and respond to the specific request. We pride ourselves on being the better listener in our marriage, but we do well to take care of how we hear. It would be a shame to spurn the light given to us in Scripture purely because we misheard or jumped to conclusions. For instance, we are instructed to be chaste as wives in the book of Titus chapter 2. But to be chaste means to abstain from sexual intercourse. So how can this be reconciled with the marriage bed and the physical relationship we have with our husbands? Being careless with our hearing might mean we make a drastic prohibition that I am quite certain husbands would not agree with. So we need to dive deeper into what that word really means. And we will in the near future. When we slow down and stop talking so much and start listening, we also hear things in the Bible that we did not hear before. For instance, there are lots of people in the Bible that we never have heard from. Some of those people are those 7,000 that God said did not bow the knee to Baal. Where were they? We never hear their story, only how God characterized them. Can this be enough for us? In our society, we want to be noticed, applauded, seen, heard, understood. But the life of hearing means it is a silent life. It means you are not the center of the faith. Jesus shines as supreme, premier, the head. And when Christianity is man-centered, man has the spotlight. Those who love the Lord and wait for his coming want him to have prominence in their lives. Man-centered Christians think that their fame is just as important as God's, that God can now reach more people because they have cultivated a following and they can have more reach than a regular person. And so they're always putting that stuff out there, putting out their wisdom, putting out their conversation, which is silly and blasphemous because Jesus has been given a name above every name, a name that causes every knee to bow. What can your name accomplish? What can your words really do? What about you? How has learning silenced you? Let us know down below in the comment section. Or better yet, say nothing at all. I see the irony. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.